Welcome to the Hamsi Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Pablo Navarro. Today is Wednesday, November 14, 2012. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at negative 2,398. Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at negative 1,448. We had 4 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and 26 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. Very bearish advanced decline differential on the names here on the Nasdaq and on the NYSE. For the volatility, 505,000 contracts traded on the VIX with 62 million in total premiums paid. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio in November, we saw a 0.89 with 17% of the total premiums paid, which is neutral. On December, a 0.43, which is bearish with 24% of the total premiums paid. And in January, a 0.17, which is bearish with 40% of the total premiums paid. Here we have the daily chart for SPX. We have a horrible day today, 19 handles down or 1.4% for the day. We talked about yesterday having a bearish reversal here on this outside day. And today we tested the 200-day moving average on the upside. We failed, and you can see here this horrible move lower. We talked about going to 1355. We hit this level. Now it looks like we are getting very oversold here on the short term, but we're going to look at a couple of more charts here to see what's going on. We look here at our weekly support, pivot, and resistance, and we closing basically at support number 1. We're going to see if we're going to be able to bounce tomorrow, maybe try to go for the 1380, 1395 weekly pivot. That's going to be critical, but the important thing here is that, as you can see, every time the market tries to rally, it just goes lower. You can see here we opened higher and just sold off throughout the day. All of the 60-minute bars were red, not positive, and the futures were higher as much as 6 to 8 points this morning before the market opens. So the bearish sentiment continues. Each rally has been sold, so there's no chance here to try to get and be a hero and try to catch a dead falling knife from here. It's better here to watch, see what's going on. We're getting pretty steep sell-off here, maybe trying to get to a pretty oversold levels. I'm looking here for this 1355. That looked like a good level maybe to start getting long, but with this action, maybe today and tomorrow would be the last day of the downtrend, and we'll start getting a bounce. Of course, we're gonna have the 200-day moving average on the upside at 1381. That's gonna be a hard resistance to break, so we'll have to see what is going on from here. If we go to our SPY chart, here we clearly broken lower. We talked about yesterday making lower lows, lower highs, pretty bearish chart here. And we're looking for lower prices, maybe 135. That's going to be the level to look at. But we are right now at pretty oversold levels. We go to our support, pivot, and resistance chart. We could even be going to 133.80, but that's pretty far away here for this week. Now here we have the Qs chart. Nasdaq ETF, we were down 1.21%. Another bad day here. We broke support number 1 on the weekly support, pivot, and resistance, and we're looking for the 62 and then 60. We talked about those targets a couple of weeks ago, and we've been bearish on the Nasdaq long time from here. Our 62 target is pretty close to being met, and then we're looking for 60. Those are the levels to watch here on the Nasdaq ETF or the Qs. If we go to the IWM, here we have the daily chart for the IWM, down 1.7% for the day, 77.24. That was our first target, maybe a little lower, 76.25 would be our next one. And in case we get a big sell-off, we're looking for 73s. But remember, 76.25 would be a very interesting number here around this levels. 26.30, that was previous support. We're gonna see if it holds there or if we're gonna continue. This chart looks again pretty bearish, but as we talked about yesterday, the downside momentum might be starting to be over, as we had been selling off pretty hard since the top here that we made on September. Now let's go to GLD chart. Here we have the GLD daily chart, and again we failed at the 55-day moving average, closing basically flat for the day, but we're still also holding our 20-day moving average. We talked about that yesterday. Very important level to hold, and we want to break this 168.20 level pretty quickly here. Maybe we're starting to get, as you can see here, some type of a bull flag here, and we want to break to continue our way higher. Important to break here this 55-day moving average, and the trend in the GLD or gold continues to be bullish. That would be very interesting here. Going to SLV. SLV having a better day than GLD, up 0.73% for the day, but again we can't break that 55-day moving average. We are making higher highs intraday. We broke yesterday's high, we finished higher, but again we want to break that 32 level soon to be pretty bullish here. If we break that 32 level, the target, as we talked about, would be 34, and if we break that 34-ish level, it would be pretty bullish, maybe to 40 or even 42s. So let's break that 55-day moving average and go to 34 from here. You see that this trend line we have drawn here, that is the line in the sand here for the bullish scenario. So watch that quite closely here for SLV. Here we have the daily chart for the VIX, up 6.6%, 7.6%. Outside day reversal to the upside, broke the 200-day moving average, and as the VIX is basically doing nothing here, it's going up, down, up, down. Today we were up 7%, and remember Monday we were down 10% on a basically flat day on the market. So it's gonna be interesting to see an extreme on the VIX, but before that happens, it's basically not telling us anything here, just going up and down from 16 to 18 level and even to 19. So we just want to see either 21, 22s, or we want to see 14s, 15s for a more complacent market. But here we're just not getting any signals from the VIX. Our McClellan oscillator here, we are right now at negative 258. We are right now at pretty deep oversold territory. Maybe you want to see the 300 or more, and that would be a pretty long and safe entry on the short term. But we must see this reading is getting pretty bearish here. We'll see what happens. We were oversold yesterday and we had this down day. We talked about it, maybe down today and tomorrow, and we'll just see what happens. So we'll watch this McClellan oscillator for a negative 300 or more for giving us a signal. We have a special offer by TradeStation. Get your Hamsi Analytics proprietary indicators paid by TradeStation. Contact Active Traders office in Chicago, Peter Albino, at the number listed below. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.